Hey everyone, today we're going to be playing Gardevoir, and I'm going to show you how to do massive amount of damage and carry your teammates in solo queue. It's the new season, so why not pick up a new Pokemon if you haven't already, and check out how to play Gardevoir. Now we're going to be going over the item builds, as well as the thought processes behind which moveset you should run against which team. Before we get into that though, if you ever want to see this action live, we do stream on Twitch, so if you want to check out our community, go follow us there as well. Alright, so whenever I get to lock in the central area as Gardevoir in my solo queue games, I like to run the full damage build. This is because at level 5, you come online with either your Psyshock or Future Sight, and you can really take advantage of these damage items early. So I like to run Slick Spoon, Wise Glasses, and Choice Specs, and I've also put the emblem set on the page as well for you to have a look at. Now, choosing between Future Sight and Psyshock is a little bit of a personal preference for me. Future Sight does have higher DPS late game if you can hit the Future Sight. Obviously, if you're missing the Future Sight, you're not going to get the same amount of DPS as you would. I think it's an incredibly strong moveset. Now, if you feel like, you know, a moveset that accommodates if you don't aim that well, Psyshock's always a good alternative as well. In this game, I just went Psyshock, mainly just because I didn't know whether the Mewtwo was going to go Psystrike or not, because they don't really stay in one spot when they're using Psystrike, right? So Mewtwo Psystrike allows them to be unstoppable. So if you have, or you're going up against Pokemon that are, you know, very mobile and very easy to get outside of your Future Sight's like circle, it's probably better to run Psyshock as well. I remember this game, it doesn't really matter, I just went with Psyshock here. The main, I guess, moveset choice that's important is when you get to level 7, because you get to choose between Moonblast and Psychic, and they have different uses, right? Moonblast is more of a stun, so that you can, you know, stun them in place for your Future Sight or Psyshock, whereas Psychic, you use it to shred their special defenses, so your actual moves do more damage. In this game, I looked at whether they had any dives, and you can see on their team, the only real Pokemon that can really come in close to me is the Buzzwole. And even then, it's not very, very good at diving the back line. So in this case, I think Psychic is a better option. And that also allows me to shred that defenses of that Slowbro. So in this case, I went with that Psychic and Psyshock combo. Now, if you're going up against a team with like Zoroarks and, you know, other speedsters like Leafeon or any other Pokemon that can really penetrate your tanks, I would suggest Moonblast is probably going to be the better choice. And Moonblast, you know, Psychic, it depends on the opposition team. So that's something you have to be aware of when you're playing Gardevoir, because if you choose the wrong moveset, it might cause detriment and make your life really harder as you're going to play throughout the mid game as well. So you can see at 7 minutes we do have level 9. We have our Unite move ready to go as well. We pick off the Buzzwole with the Mewtwo there. Unfortunately, we kind of wasted our eject there. They are going Psystrike, which means they will definitely stun you, and they're going to be unstoppable during that period. So I guess in this case, your Psyshock was the right choice. The other thing I want to talk about as well is the Unite move. Now, Gardevoir's Unite move is quite excellent in, you know, really sucking the enemy team into the circle, stunning them for that period of time, and you can layer your Psychic and Psyshock on that as well. However, it is very easy to miss as well, because if you don't stun them, a lot of the time you might find yourself pavement uniting. So something I like to do is throw out a Psychic first to slow them so that I have an easier time placing my Unite down, right? If you just put your Unite down straight away, a lot of times that you might be able to miss. And I've had plenty of pavement Unites, and it's always, you know, it feels bad because it's kind of like a waste, but you just gotta be careful with your Unite move. So here I Unite to stun them so I can get this secure on the bottom Reggie here. Another thing to note about Psyshock is that Psyshock is going to be able to shred your objectives faster, right? You don't get resets on your Future Sight if you hit a wild Pokemon, whereas on Psyshock, you do get those cooldown resets, and with that, you know, you're able to do the objective in the case of a solo queue game, because you can't really trust your teammates all the time to actually rotate objectives, right? You only just pray and hope they actually turn up. But if you need a Pokemon that you feel like can do or is versatile enough to do both, maybe, you know, Psyshock would be the play. The other thing important is to try to get your plus moves as early as possible. That way are able to get those move upgrades and do a little bit more damage as early as possible. So we successfully got the bottom Reggie, so that's fantastic. I'm just hovering mid right now to try to get my Unite back. I can see them putting a bit of pressure in the bot lane, so I'm coming to help out my team here as well. Looks like they just retreated. So we've got our Unite ready to go again. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to Unite this because I can guarantee to take down both the Mewtwo and the Eldegoss. We get a really nice overdunk at the bottom. Sometimes you just need to watch, when is the best time to use your Unite move. Even if it's not a full team clear, if you know you can get like 2 players on the enemy team there, and then get those score, break that bottom pad, it's still worth it at the end of the day, right? The Unite move doesn't charge back the quickest, but it's also not the slowest. So you can feel free to use it up until maybe the 3-minute and 40 mark. Here we go. The other thing to note with Gardevoir is you really want to play at maximum range as much as possible. And obviously try to Psychic and Psyshock in that similar space. Because if you Psychic one side and then Psyshock another side, you're not really getting that special defense, nerf, on them. You're not really shredding the special defense if you don't hit the Psychic at all, right? So, obviously it's easier said than done. The ideal situation is you hit them with the Psychic and then you Psyshock them. It's not always possible. You gotta try your best. So, nice. We gave up the Regirock, but we do put pressure on that top lane there with the Regieleki. I've got my Unite again, so I'm going to be looking to push this pad as well. If we can somehow break this pad, it'll be great. Puts a lot of pressure on the enemy team. Puts us in the point lead as well. I just Unite there. Try to get out of the Buzz Wall. Luckily, our Mewtwo also unites, so we're able to take that down and not get CC'd. Something interesting though. That Buzz Wall has chosen to use Leech Life. Now, Leech Life, in my opinion, is the worst moveset to go up into Gardevoir, because if they Leech Life anybody else but you have an easy target for your Psyshock or Future Sight. In my opinion, Buzzwole, if you're going against the Gardevoir, you really need to go Superpower and Smackdown, because that way you're able to displace enemies and you're not a stationary target for the Gardevoir to just go bam, bam, bam with its Psyshock. Alright, so 40 seconds to go until the final stretch. We're looking pretty good, nearly level 14 as well. Just going to look to poke over here. We don't really want to give unnecessary levels. Our tree unites, unfortunately. That's just a huge waste. We're not going to get it back by Ray. We're going to try to at least pick off one to make it worth it. Crustle goes down. This is terrible. And then this is where I played bad as well. Not only did I waste an eject, I played way too forward and got picked off by the Side Strike. So that's something you gotta be careful with Gardevoir, right? You don't really want to frontline with Gardevoir at all. Luckily though, they did not start to do the Ray, and we have time to come back, and we're gonna be looking to get that Buzzwole and Mewtwo. That's probably our primary targets there. So Buzzwole goes down, Mewtwo is very, very low. That's gonna pick them off as well, and boom, Eldegoss is dead. That's gonna be 3 KOs on our side. Just the Mewtwo remaining. Slowbro's there as well. They teleport away, so I'm like, I'm not going to push that second pad. I'm a bit forward right now, right? We talked about how you really want to stay your distance, because if they lock onto you with the Side Strike, it's pretty much over. We're going to look to stay in this bottom L bush. We're nowhere ahead. I'm just praying my solo Q Crustle does not keep hitting that, because we're very ahead. I had to eject out of the way because I didn't know what the Buzzwole was going to do to me there. And we're going to apply damage and pressure. There's only 50 seconds to go. I can see the Mewtwo ripping it. So we're going to start counting heads now, right? We take these 2 players down. There's 2 players remaining on that team. I don't have vision of Mewtwo. I'm just going to poke it to see whether they actually come in, right? But then I see on the map that the Buzzwole is bottom lane and the Mewtwo is also bottom lane. So quick mathematics tells us there's no one going to be in the pit here. So I'm just going to quickly use my Unite to shred this down as well. That easily gets Rayquaza. You know, flipping it is not always the way to go. You really want to make the, I guess, the most educated risk-taking approach, right? Like, if you know that there's no one going to contest you, then you can safely do Ray. But if you know the Mewtwo has Unite, or if you know the Mewtwo is going to come in, it's probably not safe to do so. So we did really well there at the Rayquaza fight. I think our solo queue teammates also did fantastic. They made us to stall it out when I was down. And you can see, afterwards, that is a comfortable win, right? 525 to 267. We had 33 kill participation, right? And 130,000 damage. And this is all solo queue as well. So obviously, when I see that there's 2 tanks in my team and a support, Gardevoir is a fantastic pick. especially as well if the teammates are able to frontline for you and you can just poke from the back all day long. Let me know in the comments if you started playing Gardevoir or you've been playing Gardevoir for all this time and how are you finding it in this new season. Alright, thanks guys. I'll catch you guys in the streams and the next video. Bye.